So first question is, what is acoustic technique?
That's a good question. Essentially, acoustics function on aerodynamics, and so we were taught, early on when in my training, I was taught that the more air you push through your instrument, the louder you got, and so I spent a lot of years doing that. The funny thing was, the more air I pushed through my instrument, the less sound I made, and so eventually, in studying aerodynamics and acoustics, I realized that velocity of air, or speed of air, was more important than the amount of air that was passing through the instrument, particularly when you're singing a lot from low to high. The air demands, as you go higher, you need less. Lower, you need more. But speed is pretty much a constant. So you learn through aerodynamics that velocity happens oftentimes when air meets like a curve. And so as I began to experiment with different styles of singing, I realized that when I did pay attention to my aerodynamics, that the sound that was produced had a reflective factor, as it were. I could feel it out in front of me, whether I was belting or singing jazz, whether I was on a mic, off a mic, all the different styles of classical music and opera that I was singing had a similar feel out here. And then I began to experiment with that against what I would feel and hear inside of my mouth here. I would record myself and realize that the acoustic footprint, otherwise basically the shape of the sound, the tuning of the sound, and the amplitude was stronger when I had this effect that I could feel a compression effect out here than it was when I could hear/feel it here.
Yeah.
So then I began to sort of wrap my studies around that. So acoustic vocal technique is basically, it's the science, not the style of the vocal technique. The acoustic properties tend to transfer across styles of music and work with a mic, work without a mic. So you just, once you learn to work with your acoustic voice, you have more longevity. And you also are able to cross-train,
Yes.
more importantly. So you're able to sing different styles without sounding like you're mimicking those styles. So,
Love it. Awesome.
Very cool.